rocking East Tennessee High School Sports Podcast, bringing you all the exclusive interviews with some of the hottest players coming out of high school and the coaches from around the country here. Make sure you like and share this podcast and stay tuned in each week. But enough of this, let's get it.
Welcome to In the Lab.
Coach Rock.
Coach O.
We're here with Grace, Coach Long in the building. What's going on,
My
Coach?
boy, the Juice Man. What's up, Coach?
Hey, Coach, let's talk about the season. Y'all started out with a win against TKA. Then y'all dropped two. Y'all seem like y'all figuring some things out and y'all going in the right direction. Can you tell us a little about that?
Yeah, man. It's really just about continuing to grow. I told our guys after week 2 we was going to learn a lot about ourselves moving forward. And overall, I was really pleased with how we handled game 3. A little bit outmanned, but man, we came to fight. We came with a lot of energy. Guys didn't roll over. We had a really good chance to make it interesting. We was down 14-0. Came back and made it 28-17 with a chance to go in the half, man, with a fighting chance. And Chad Christian made plays. They're a phenomenal team, very well coached. A lot of great athletes, a lot of big guys on the interior. But I told our guys after that game, keep the fight where it is, keep the level of intensity where it is. Now bring that discipline along with that, and just keep doing what you're doing. And we got a chance right here against a good CAK team to go get a victory, and that's the hope and that's the plan.
Yes, sir, Coach. Coach, talk to us a little bit about your freshman class, man. There's some exciting guys in that freshman class that I'm looking forward to see as time goes on. Talk to us a little bit about your freshman class, Coach.
It's a lot of guys that can play. It's a lot of guys that's playing right now. And not necessarily because we just want to play them. It's because they've earned those spots.
Yes, sir.
So you got guys like Jackson Coffey, who's an 8th grader. He's been at Grace. He's played for our middle school team the last couple of years. Starting at inside linebacker. Has over 30 tackles right now as a 9th grader.
Third in the stats, if I ain't correct. That's what the guys told me. They own it.
Yeah, that might be right. I had
That's impressive as a freshman.
And what I like about Jackson is he's steady Eddie. Since he's been in the weight room in January, man, saw his numbers jump on all the 3 main lifts. Bench, squat, hang clean. You barely hear him say a word unless he's asking a question. Super locked in, man. Really talented guy.
Yes, sir.
Here's what I also like about him. He gets knocked on his butt a lot. Like, he gets knocked down, but you never hear him complain. You never hear him say anything like, "Oh, it's somebody else's fault." That really impresses me. He's very mature for his age.
Yes, sir.
We got a running back, Terrion Thomas. I call him a running back. He's really ATH, man. He's really an athlete. He can do it all, special with the ball in his hands. He's learning how to play at the high school level, and what I mean is, hey, man, you got to be willing to do stuff when you don't got the ball in your hands.
Take his block.
Man, because from a recruitment standpoint, college coaches want to know what you do when you don't have it.
Sure.
And you can really show how much you care about your teammates when you're playing football without the ball. So another one, Caden Weber, very talented kid. Man, he's got the body. He can run. He can catch. He will be a player in the years to come. He's probably in my mind, he's probably running back, safety, receiver, talented, man. Like he's got talent coming out of his earwax. We got a lineman, Keaton Nave. Keaton is also a baseball guy, man. Very talented baseball player. Got a lot of ability. He can move to be a bigger kid. Very excited about what he brings to the O-line and D-line. It's a few other guys. Like a lot of that. What I like about that freshman group is they're very coachable, very low maintenance. You ain't dealing with a lot of stuff with them, and they just come to work. And so I can't wait to see how they continue to grow. And then, hopefully we're able to add some pieces to that class. And you all know as well as I know, in order to be a contender, you got to stack classes.
Yeah, you got to have a good one after a good one.
You got to have a good one after a good one. Like your senior class might have your big boys. Your junior class might have your skill guys. Your sophomore class might bring some linebackers on that defensive side where it's like, bro, y'all can hold that down. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta, in order to be a contender and make a run in the state playoffs, you gotta stack class.
Yes, sir.
But it seems like they're heading in the right direction, Coach.
Oh, for sure.
We trying, man. I think when you building, I think you can never lose sight that when you building, man, you gotta be willing to face the adversity. You gotta be willing to take your lumps.
Right.
And I think right now our program, from when I first got here in 21, I think our program is miles ahead of where we were.
Right.
For sure.
But it's still some work to do.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's still some work to do.
Yes, sir. Coach, being that you was a quarterback, you know, when you played, basically the leader of the team, your quarterback is. How is it helping you transition as the head coach, Like, or does it?
It's a lot of similarities, man. Because when you quarterbacks get too much of the credit and too much of the blame.
Yeah.
I truly believe
I agree.
quarterbacks get too much of the credit. When you win, it's when you lose, it's A head coach position is very similar to that. What I've learned is, just like quarterback, I'm willing to say when it's good, it's because everybody else doing their job. When it's bad, man, that's on me.
It's on me.
I didn't get our job. I didn't get our guys prepared. And I think my quarterback background, honestly, prepared me for this job because I've always tried to be selfless. I've always tried to put the team before myself. I've always tried to, whenever somebody stuck a microphone in my face when I played, I was talking about the O-line. I was talking about the running back. I was talking about that play the receiver made. I was talking about our defense. You know what I mean? So, man, like this position now, I really try to deflect any type of praise, and I try to put it on everybody else, and I really try to make sure, you know, if something ain't going well, I own it, man. That's on me. I got to do a better job. You know, we got a great staff here, man. Great men that are coaches. You know, great men that coach football. So for me, that's important because I want our young men to know what a good dude looks like.
Right, sir.
You know, I want them to know. So quarterback position, man, is nothing like it. I love that position. I care. I'm very passionate about that position. And there are a lot of parallels between quarterbacks and head coaches.
Yes, sir.
We talked to Coach earlier, and Coach said it made a good point. The only two people on the team that got a record is the quarterback and the coach. You know what I'm saying? So we talked to Weston earlier, and y'all came in together, right? So tell us how important it is because y'all pretty much growing the program together. Like he was your man that you came in, and so this is the only quarterback you had since you've been here. So tell us about your relationship and how it's grown from his freshman year to sophomore to now.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have another Q, man. Right. I wouldn't want to have another Q to grow with and learn with. Here's what Weston has that he's starting to figure out. He's starting to understand that he can do it all. Right. And what I mean is, I don't necessarily mean run and throw. I mean, he can put the team on his back. Last week, he made a big jump in my eyes because here's what he did. He didn't let the scoreboard dictate how he acted. Right, so I talk to the guys a lot about don't let your circumstances dictate your actions. So whatever's going on around you, you still be locked in. You still be in the zone. Right. Weston was going up to the defense, encouraging guys. Weston was going up to our kickoff team, our kickoff return team. Hey guys, we're about to score right here. We're about to make a big play. He was on the sideline, keeping the sideline in it. So for me, being a former Q, I know the importance of keeping everybody calm, keeping everybody, hey, we good, bro. We good. No matter what's going on, we locked in. We ready to go. And I went up to him after the game on Monday. I went up to him during practice, and I said, Weston, that was impressive to me because you just kept playing. And then you come out, you throw for over, 200 yards, a little under 300 yards versus a team like Chet Christian. And you throw for 3 tutties against a team like Chet Christian. And I said, you wouldn't have done that. Here's my point. He wouldn't have been able to make those plays if he was on the sideline.
What we doing?
You know what I'm saying? So him learning that, and I think now that's going to propel him for even more success. Just because Q always got everybody, but Q's for sure always got to stay locked in.
Yeah, for sure. So we do, Coach.
Talk about on the defensive side. Let's talk about Braden Ray. He's a tough kid, ain't he?
B-Ray, man. He's 6'3", right at 200, 205, 210. He kind of fluctuates a little bit. Braden, I wish we had about 5 or 6 of that kid, man, because he's a worker. He's willing to work out here, then he'll go to Triple F and get another hour and a half in. He's the type of kid I really want to see do well because I know he's put the work in.
Yes, sir.
He's such a mismatch offensively because he can run like that. He gallops on people, like he can really get up and go. What's impressive about him defensively is the same thing. I wish we could turn him loose a little more and just say, go get it.
Right.
But from a schematic standpoint, we got to do a few different things. But
Right.
we'll probably here soon. You'll just see him turn loose and say, man, just go get the football. That's the type of player he is. He's made a lot. I think he's leading our team in receiving touchdowns right now as a tight end. Well, he really plays both, honestly. He really plays both. But he's a very talented guy, and I'm hoping to make sure he's involved. We'll make sure he's involved a lot moving forward.
Yes, sir. Coach, talk to us a little bit, because when we played, we was in 3A. Talk to us a little bit about the difference between your public schools and your private school sector, Coach. What do you think the main difference is?
Well, man, I'm just trying to get my words right. I think right now, for whatever reason, we don't have to get into the reason, but for whatever reason, there's a little bit of a migration towards the private school. But there's still a lot of good football in your public school as well. What I'm seeing in the private school in our division, which is 2A, out of the 3A classification, with a lot of good football players, a lot of good football teams, and a lot of good football coaching. Well, Chat Christian, Silverdale, Boyd Buchanan.
And they all in your region?
They all in our region. Notre Dame. I'm forgetting somebody. Forgive me for forgetting, but here's what really gets me. These teams are deep.
Yeah.
Especially on the O-line and deep. Where it matters the most.
Yeah, sure do.
So, we run into some teams like last week where I'm looking at these trees that Jack Christian got, and I'm thinking, man, if I had just a couple of
right,
them,
give me 2 of them.
We in business.
You know what I mean? So right now, the biggest difference is in the trenches for us. It is in the trenches. We can hang perimeter. In the trenches right now is the biggest difference. A lot of private schools are doing their due diligence to make sure the trenches are taken care of.
Yes, sir. I definitely agree with that. We in the classification 3A, if I'm not mistaken, over at Catholic. That's a tough division as well. Do you think it's hard on you guys as far as travel, as opposed to being a public school? You just gotta go 10 minutes down the road. Do you think that playing a factor as well?
I think if you're a Knoxville team and you having to travel to Nashville and Memphis every other week, I think
you
that's
go to Memphis this year, don't you?
No, we
You
don't.
don't?
The furthest we go is Chattanooga.
Okay.
So we're right in that 2-hour range, so it's not terrible on us.
Right.
But to your point, you used to drive 15,
Right
20
down the
minutes,
road,
you know what I mean? 25 minutes tops, so, that 2-hour trip to Chattanooga whenever we have to make it is not ideal, but that's where our region is, so we don't really have a choice. One cool thing is about our region is we got 18 regions, so 7 of my games are already decided, so I only got to find 3 non-region games, so that's cool.
I seen y'all got AE on the schedule, so you try to find more teams in the city like to play?
Yeah. I want to be able to play some city teams. I think for me, and growing up at a school like Fulton, I think for me, making sure the Grace brand is respected in our city.
Yes, sir.
Now, that don't just mean playing city teams. You gotta take care. You gotta take care of whoever you play. You know what I mean? But I want to make sure people see the Grace brand. Like next year, I'm trying to get a Rivalry Thursday game. I'm trying to get my boys on that platform. I'm trying to make sure again. We play some city teams. So this year, who are our non-region games? I think it's York, Austin East, and then
I seen somebody at the end, Bearcrest.
Briarcrest, probably.
Hold on,
Where they at? Chattanooga?
I'm losing my mind. Oh, it was Kings was our
Kings
first.
Academy,
So it was Kings, York, and Austin East was our non-region games.
So what is King 1A?
Kings is 1A.
Okay.
So you got 1, 2, and 3 in private.
Yeah.
Private, okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that the better quality players are in those divisions?
That's a great question. That's a great question, and I still don't know. I got a phone call the other day, man. People know I love to talk ball, so I'm glad you're here because I could do this all night.
Right.
I got a phone call and they said, Justin, now, do you think that the best football is no longer in 6A public, and now it's in 3A private?
Right.
So now there's a handful of people that think the best football in the state of Tennessee is now 3A private instead of 6A public. And I'm not gonna say which one's right because I mean it's good football in both.
Yeah, both tough.
It's good football in both. You know, the 6A programs out there and then the 3A private. You know, me personally, I before I make any assumption, I like to see teams in person.
Yeah.
I just like to see them in person. You know, but it's great football in this state. I'm so happy with how much the football has progressed. Now, I'm gonna say this because you know we played together. You know I know how we feel about recruiting. I feel like the football always been good in the state.
It always has been.
But I feel like it's more eyes on it now.
We didn't get the spotlight shine
due
on
to
us.
huddle, due to the amount of coaches that are really doing their due diligence to come recruit this state. I appreciate the coaches that take their time to come really truly evaluate.
Yes, sir.
You know, and I think it's some gems in this state. I think it's a lot of them, but I'm happy where it is now, and I'm happy that it continues to progress.
Do you think it's growing because of, you know, talking about stars right here, Coach, your T. Higgins, your Amari Rogers, you think that's the reason why that like colleges like, oh, it's a gym down there in Knoxville. Let's go find out.
Yeah, I think with those names you mentioned, I think what make those guys special is not only did they take care of business at this level, the high school level, they want to put on at the big time, like the big stage. You know, so which tells me this: they were able to take care of school. They was good dudes. They were able to attack the weight room, change their body, and then the field was just what I knew.
Easy to them.
You know what I mean? So they had the intangibles already in them. Aside from the athleticism, they got to make sure they take care of their school. They got to make sure they're good dudes. They got to make sure they're going to class. All that stuff, right? And then the football was just everything else. So I think from a recruitment standpoint, when you say, "Oh, where are kids from? Oh, they from East Tennessee. They from the Knoxville area. They from Oak Ridge." Oh, well, shoot, we need to keep going. You know what I mean? Because I want, and that's what I want. I want the kids to go and put on. Don't just go. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, it's tough. It's different. It's hard. Coach ain't showing me love. Coach ain't talking to me. You know, well, you might be red shirt. You know what I'm saying? If you red shirt, that mean they just putting you in the oven. You know what I'm saying? Now let's hit this. Now let's hit the weight room. Now let's learn this system because your time about to cook. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think recruitment, man, I think it's better because kids have won and put on. You know, kids from this area have won and put on, represented, done well, and it makes coaches want to come back.
Let's talk about this week opponent. You got CAK. You know, going into this week, you know, like I said, coming in last week, I seem like I got some momentum going. Coming in this week, preparation and practice. How you feel going into the game and what you've seen in practice this week?
Yeah, first off, practice is where you win the games.
Right.
You know, and we're still preaching this. We got a lot of guys that just finished their third varsity start. So you don't know what you don't know, man. So we talk to these guys about the importance of Monday through Thursday. You know, you think about that for a second. If you practicing 2.5 to 2.5 hours a day, right? So you might, by the time you get to Thursday, you almost 9-10 hours. And you're going to play a game for 2.5, 3 hours.
Right.
So you think about that trade-off. So you spend way more time in preparation than you do actually playing. So that's how important it is. So I saw a little bit more focus. I saw a little bit more buy-in, and I saw a little bit more want to. I shouldn't have to say much for CAK week.
Right.
You know, I shouldn't have to say much.
Big Rob.
But I think the guys want it this week. And I hope that we start fast. I hope that I hope that they're locked in mentally, you know, and just go have fun. You know, last week in pregame, I said, remember what it was like when you first put that helmet on the shoulder pads?
Right.
Remember what it was like when you know, just being excited about playing the game. You didn't really care about nothing else but playing. You couldn't wait to go do it.
Right.
You know, be excited, man. Like get that kid, get that childlike fun back about you, and just go play and have fun. You know.
Me and you both come from a real big tradition over at Fulton. A lot of history, a lot of school pride. How does Grace fit in among the other schools in the city with far as tradition and pride? Because, like you said earlier, you trying to shine light on Grace. Because when you play out of Knoxville schedule, you don't get a lot of light. We ain't had Mark Packer. He came to the Powell and Catholic game, and that was a hassle trying to get those guys on the schedule that one year. But it seemed like when you don't have a Knoxville opponent to play against, you're not going to get that spotlight from the city. So it is kind of tough looking at it that way. But what type of pride and school pride are you trying to incorporate into Grace, or did it already kind of have one established when you got her?
Yeah. So Grace has been to the semifinals in football, you know, and Coach McCamey did a phenomenal job building the program, getting guys excited about it. And really took Grace to a high level, and it was known for being a high level. Now, you know, that was back when it was the Publix, you know, the public. I don't know if it was 1A or AA, I can't really remember, but that tradition and that expectation was set. And then, you know, Coach Bradley done a great job as well, you know, always producing, you know, very high scoring teams, always having teams that can make runs. I think they won a region in 18 and 20, maybe, or maybe 19 and 20. Forgive me for misquoting that. But what I'm trying to make sure our guys currently understand is that you're at a school that has tradition. You know, if you're telling me you made it to the semifinals multiple times, you have a little bit of tradition about you. Now here's what I like about this place. And you mentioned, you know, Grace is kind of, you know, from a city standpoint, people, I'm trying to shine the light on it. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a bubble. I do want people to know about Grace, like that it's a private Christian school, that we got people that want to see this place do well.
Yes, sir.
You know, so this place, and there's opportunity here, right? Like if you a lineman, let's just be honest. I mean, there's opportunity here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like how do I get people to know about this place? Like we tucked in the corners right now, so you know, how do I get people to come here? So we try to do a lot of stuff on social media. If they can't come here, we need to go to them. We need to show them what it's like here. So we've been really, you know, really deliberate about our social media page, trying to put stuff out there. You know, and I try to connect our guys to the past too, because you don't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. So I'm like, hey guys, you know, these cats done been to the city. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't went to the state. We don't have a state appearance at all. So my goal, my heart is to one day be playing for that state championship, and put Grace on the stage that it's never been. Put Grace on the platform that it's never been. I mean, because as long as they keep it score, we need to be trying to achieve that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That was all I had.
Okay, I got more. Man.
I know you got more.
This is my guy right here. We ain't been catching up in a long time.
You stole a couple of my questions, but I'm gonna let you
it always be like a little bit. You know, you just gotta adjust to go with it. Y'all, what, 1 and 2 right now, Coach? 1 and 2. Talk to us a little bit about how you feel right now as a standpoint. You know, I know it's still early, 3 games in. Just talk to us a little bit about how you kind of feel about where y'all at right now.
I think, like I said, you know, we got a lot of guys that just finished their 3rd varsity start. And you know as well as I know, there's nothing like experience. You know what I mean? So how do I feel right now? I'm really encouraged, but I don't have a false sense of where we are. I know there's still a lot of work to do. I know there's still a lot of growing to do, and with growing, there's some growing pains. So, but I got a really good group of kids that's locked in. You know, not overly deep, but I got a really good group of guys that's locked in. We're taking our lumps right now. I think right now, honestly and truly, we're probably about where we thought we'd be. We felt like the York game would be closer, but one thing I respect about York is that's a senior-laden team. And we ran into a senior, you know, it was a bunch of experience versus not a lot of experience in week 2. But I think it was for the better because, again, I said after that game, we're gonna learn a lot about our team this year. How we practice, how we play. And we could have rolled over against Jack Christian. When it was 14-0, I'm gonna be honest, I had a feeling in my gut. I'm like, this could go one or two ways. It could be 60-0, or it could be
no fight.
You know what I'm saying? And we fought back. So for me, that was the sign I wanted to see out of the football team. Like, okay, we got a little bit of backbone. We actually got a little bit of battle. So, and here's the deal. You know, we got 3 games. We got 6 region games left. So for me, it's really just about positioning ourselves for the playoffs. You know,
how many teams they take 4? Yeah,
does everybody get in the playoffs?
No. They added a team to our region, so it's 1 more than last year. So I think there's 5 slots available
for the playoffs.
I think. Don't quote me on that.
Out of 16 teams?
No, it's out of you do it out of your out of 16 teams.
How many teams?
You're talking about out of the whole thing. We're talking about how many go
I'm talking about
because like the way we set up the way we set up in Catholic is everybody go to the playoffs. Is that the same here?
No.
Yeah, see, everybody go. You go 0-5, you go to the playoffs.
You gotta win a couple, man. So I'm really looking at it as okay. And here's the thing: it's 3-3. So we got it's a very interesting schedule, and which I like it this way. We got 3 region games, and we play 9 region alternate, and we finish with 3 region games. So I'm looking at it like, okay, we got to be able to get something out of these region games and position ourselves for the playoffs. So that's really it, man. These guys are going to continue to get better with this game. We're talented enough and young enough that inexperience will continue. So who knows, man, in 3 weeks we might be sitting pretty. You know what I mean? Just because of the experience that they gain by playing the game. There's nothing like game reps. There's really nothing like game reps. Yeah, you need to lock in and practice. You need to do your stuff. You need to focus. But it ain't nothing like being out there under the lights and learning and then being able to watch film and say, okay,
see your mistakes.
You know what I mean? And you know, football is simple. It's just not easy. You know what I mean?
If it was, everybody would do it.
Well, and that's funny because a lot of people got a lot to say about our guys and about all football teams, but some of these guys aren't willing to do what the football guys do. How much they sacrifice in the summer, being up in the morning, how much they could be at home in air conditioning, they can have a job, they could be at the lake, they could be doing anything, but they sacrifice and they're giving up for this game. So I try to tell our guys, don't give nobody no power they don't deserve.
Right? Straight up.
You know what I'm saying?
You was talking a little bit about your coaching staff earlier, and I always keep up with you, man. I ain't gonna lie, you one of my favorite players and coaches in this area, man. And I always keep up and I always root you on. But I heard, man, you got a coach over here named T.J. King, man. That's my boy, man. We all 3 won the championship together, so it's kind of good to see that he's back over here with you. Talk to us a little bit about more of your guys on staff, because like you said, you want to shine that light on Grace. And for the inner city, if I go to Fulton, let's be honest, I'm not checking Grace schedule out. I'm checking all the inner city schools in Austin East, Central. You know how it goes. So shine a little light on your coaches and tell us a little bit about your coaching staff.
Yeah. So I'll start with TJ. TJ, what I like about TJ is he brings just a steadiness to us. He's a former cop. He's a former Marine. So he's very straight laced. He wants to do things of like a high quality in everything he does. He's a man of God. He's a family man. His kids are always running around here.
Yes, sir.
What I really respect about him is he's just a go-getter. And from a coaching standpoint, he came in just diving in like, Coach, how can I learn more? How can I be better? How can I continue to grow in this? And I think our inside linebackers are better because of his presence.
That's awesome.
Because he's steady Eddie. They know the expectation. He's willing to go to eat lunch with them. When he can, he's willing to go hang out with them. From a brotherhood standpoint, him and Coach Lakin have done a great job. What I like about these guys, it's a lot of different occupations. Like Coach Lakin is a full-time doctor. Like he's a family physician. He played at University of Tennessee. He went to Pal. I really like Coach Lakin a lot. He brings another he brings a strong perspective because he gets all aspects of the game. He really knows how to play it. He coaches. He's got a high intensity about him, but it's like a calm, and then it'll come out. You know. So I really like that about Coach Lakin. He knows the linebacker stuff. He knows running back stuff. Coach Burton, man, I want to make sure I shout out Coach Burton. So Coach Burton comes with a lot of experience. He was at Powell back in 2011 when they lost in the state championship in Henry County. But he ended up, and then he ended up being on the staff with Central that won it in 18 and 19. So he brings a wealth of experience.
So you actually coached against him?
Oh yeah.
And for him?
Yeah. Okay. We had some battle. But Coach Burton just brings that wealth of experience, man. And if I was, and honestly, this is gonna sound crazy, but if I could have it my way, all my coaches would be older than me. They would be veterans, guys that don't got no ego, don't got none of that, and they just want to love kids and coach ball.
Are you the youngest coach in the state, or is it TKA?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Okay.
I don't know. My offensive line coach is another guy that he means a lot to me. Coach Keith Hall. Coach Hall, another guy that's coaching. I don't know, 6, 7 state championships. He was at Calhoun, Georgia, one of those schools down in Georgia that had I think they went to 3 or 4 state championships in a row, 5 or something. Got beat by Buford a couple times in a row. So he just knows he coached D-line, he's coached all line, offensive line, he's coached special teams. He just brings a wealth of knowledge, man. Just, I can he'll sit with me after practice and we'll just sit and talk ball. Coach Riggs, I want to make sure I shout out Coach Riggs. He's one of the most prolific quarterbacks to come through Grace. He done threw for a ton of yards and a ton of touchdowns. He's wise beyond years, man. He's wise beyond his years. Just smart. He says some things sometimes, and I'm like, how old are you? Are you 53? Or are you 20? You know what I'm saying? So just wise just really mentally,
And
strong.
it's always good to have a guy that's from the community. You know what I mean? It's always.
And he's a connector too. Like he knows everybody knows him. Really, really happy to have him. And he's got a great offensive mind. So it's great to bounce ideas off of him. Coach Jeff Browns, our defensive coordinator, another strong guy, was at South Doyle for years, knows the game, loves kids, great at relationship building.
Yes, sir.
Very great at, just defensive scheme, understands what offenses are trying to do, puts guys in position to make plays, and that's all you can really ask for in DC. Like, hey, man, we put you there, you got to make the tackle, So, who am I leaving out?
It's always somebody you forget any coach. You can't help it.
No, Coach Zach James is with us. Coach James was with me at Fulton. What I like about Coach James is, man, he's just got a raw passion for wanting to see things done right. Knows the game, loves the game. He's made a few stops at Oak Ridge and Anderson County. Really knows the outside linebacker safety position. Really passionate about that. He's strong. He's strong. Let me see. I got to do it like that.
Yeah, I understand, Coach.
I coach quarterback, running backs, O-line, D-line. Danny Stewart. Yeah, Coach Danny Stewart. Man, Coach Stewart, full-time firefighter. And
he come out here and dedicate his time.
Dedicate his time.
That's awesome.
Danny, here's what Danny is phenomenal at, man. First of all, he's a great D-line coach, but second of all, he's got the FBA background. So when FBA football was in their heyday, Danny was the coach. He had them guys ready to play, competing with them old Fulton Little League teams back in the day. He might have beat them one year. But Danny brings he's another steady Eddie guy. You know what you're going to get. He works hard, and he really loves these kids. Like, he really pours into them. Him and Coach King will go eat lunch with some of the FBA guys on Friday just to show love, just to make sure they know that we care about them. Not y'all just over there at FBA and we over here at Grace. Nah, we really try to make sure that relationship is good.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, it's those guys are really good for our program. Coach Eric Arnold, he's not here a lot during the week, but he brings another just presence to us where he knows the game. He's had kids that have been great athletes, so he knows the game. Yeah, man, I got a great staff. I couldn't ask for a better staff.
Right.
You know, and I tell those guys, you know, y'all work with me and not for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds like you guys are going in the right direction. It's really not too hard to see that, Coach. And then, like I said, I played with you, so I actually got to see, because when you playing, like you said earlier, you spend majority of your time at the facility with your guys. So I actually got to spend a whole year with you, man. And like I said, you're one of my favorite players and coaches to ever play, man. And I want to leave you with one more question before we go, man.
Sure.
Do you ever show the guys that championship ring?
Man, I don't wear any of my rings.
Oh yeah.
Man. I don't wear any of the one I want as a coach or a player.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I pulled them out the other day, man, and just looked at them, just as a reminder, you know, of what, from a football standpoint, we're playing for. Now, you know, we're playing to honor Christ, and we're playing to make sure we leave a good name and we represent Grace well. But from a sheer football standpoint, it's about winning championships, and I don't never want to sell these guys short. You know, like the way I'm wired as a competitor, what we playing for?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like what are we playing for?
We're trying to win that thing.
We're trying to win. Like, you know, and you mentioned us playing together. One thing I don't think people realize about that particular year is there was nothing expected out of us. We had graduated a phenomenal class of football players that went to the state.
That Bosa won it.
See what I'm saying?
You know, so
when nobody expected nothing from our class, we wasn't the chosen ones. It was just, who is this quarterback? You would start as a freshman at middle linebacker. You know what I'm saying? But that group was highly motivated.
Special.
Highly motivated, man. So trying to bring some of that here. And I just looked at those rings the other day, man, and I took them out the box and I just held them in my hand, and I'm thinking, what would it be like to give these kids, like at a banquet? And I call them kids up there and I shake their hand one by one, man, and I say, here's your state championship.
Right.
That's awesome,
Man, it kind of make my eyes water, man, because I want these kids to experience it. Like, I want that for them.
Right.
And for our community, you know what I'm saying? Like my job, I told somebody the other day, I said, I want to make Grace proud. Like, I want our principal to be hanging out with some of her friends and say, man, I'm really proud of our football team. I want our head of school to be able to say, football team got good. I want our pastor, Pastor Bobby, to say, you better come to a Grace game. You better get there early. You see what I'm saying? So I want to make this whole community proud of what we're trying to do here. And that's what it's about.
Well, Coach, it's always an honor to get to sit down and chop it up about old times and moving forward, Coach. But I want to thank you again, man. And like I said, it's an honor playing with you.
Yes, sir.
And I'll be always cheering for you, my guy. Always.
Oh, we come down in the season, maybe do a game live.
We
come down and do something, man.
If we welcome, we'll be here.
Y'all can't come to no games. What y'all talking
Why
about?
not?
You be at Powell, you be at Catholic.
Oh, yeah, right.
We got
Thursday night games either.
We got a couple Thursday night games I can probably make it work.
Hey, okay.
And we got an off week, too.
Yeah, so we might make that thing up.
Good, man. I got people texting me about the AE game already. Man.
Oh, yeah. That's one I want to come to.
When is that one? 2 weeks away?
3. We go CAK, Notre Dame, Lakeway, Austin.
Y'all at Austin East?
Sure.
You keeping a rivalry going some kind of way, ain't you?
Ford don't want to play.
Ford don't want to play.
Ain't got nothing to do with that.
You know, Coach got 35. Appreciate it, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Good luck Friday,
Thank
man.
you, Coach. Good luck, Coach. Yes, sir.
In the lab,
We out here.
Y'all know what time it is? You just tuned in the lab with Coach Rock and O. East Tennessee High School Sports Podcast. Bringing you all the exclusive interviews with some of the hottest players coming out of high school and the coaches from around the country here. Make sure you like and share this podcast. And stay tuned in each week. But enough of this. Let's get it.
Welcome back to In the Lab.
Coach Rock.
Coach Joe.
We're there with Grace, quarterback Weston, and running back Steven. How y'all doing today?
Good, pretty good.
What's going on?
What's up, fellas? How you doing?
Thanks for coming on the show.
Sir.
Let's talk about football a little bit. Last week, y'all took a loss to was it Chattanooga Christian?
Yeah.
How'd y'all feel about that game? Like, what happened there?
Yeah, I mean, Chad Christian's been a good team for a while now, so getting that game early is a real good test for us. I mean, they're big, they're athletic, so we're really battle tested. It's a good game to have early on, so we can kind of see for the rest of the season how it's going to go.
Yeah, and added to what he said, I think throughout the game, we weren't as disciplined as we should have been, especially going in. Coaches prepared us well. I don't think we went in as disciplined, but we still fought and did what we were coached.
It seemed like, it seemed like you got some things going for the second half a little bit, you know what I mean? So how y'all feel like with the momentum y'all carried the second half, how you think that carry on over to this week?
Yeah, especially watching film on Monday, there's spots of greatness. You know what I mean? Like we have the players to be a good team. That was just a good wake-up call early on to kind of put into this week, especially this week playing a big rival like CAK. It's good to get that out of the way and really see what's up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Later in that game, I took more of a leadership role, kind of like leading by example, doing what you're supposed to do. That's just kind of how it was for me.
Talk to us a little bit about the private school sector. What division you guys in again? 2A. Okay. Talk to us a little bit about traveling, finding games, as opposed to being a local Knox County school that just got to go right down the road to play somebody. Talk to us a little bit about your schedule in the private school ball.
Yeah, I mean, there's good and bad to each one. I mean, to everything. So I think bad stuff is having to play 2 or 3 games in Chattanooga every year. I mean, it is what it is. We're kind of used to it, especially my junior year and senior year. We've done it. But one thing I really like is these private school teams we've been playing since we've been here. We played all these kids, the same kids every year in the private school leagues and middle school.
Yes, sir.
It's really cool seeing everyone grow up with you. That's a good positive part of it, which I really like.
Yes, sir. Awesome. What about you, Steve?
It's a smaller scene. You get to grow a lot closer with your teammates. You don't have as many people on your team as you do. A lot of guys playing both ways. So you do have to fight. You got to condition. Like you got to be well conditioned. Especially with me, I go both ways. First few games, I was a little iffy.
What you play on defense?
Corner.
Okay, that's a tough job, man. That's a tough job. Is there any accomplishments that you guys set for yourself coming into this season? Talk about a little bit about your self accomplishments, and then talk about a little bit about your team accomplishments that you guys want to achieve this year.
Yeah, I mean, last year I was having a pretty good season, but I got an injury late in the year. I got a concussion, which kind of skewed my stats a little bit. So this year I was really trying to eclipse that 2,000-yard mark, 20 touchdowns, just setting goals up for myself to really chase after something the whole year. But mainly, what I was focused on is team goals. I think we have a chance to win the region this year for sure. Our region as a whole kind of takes a step back as it was last year. I mean, that class of 2023 was pretty tough, So this year it's really open wide, and I really want us to execute on that and really have a chance to win the region.
For sure. Sounds good.
And this year I'm playing running back, so I get to actually be on the offensive part, side of the game.
That's you got a tough Friday night playing running back and then going over checking some of your fastest receivers in
one of my main goals was really just to be conditioned enough to play both.
Yeah.
And then, because I play a little bit of slot too, because at the A-back position, I play both. I'll shift back and forth. To get a good amount of all-purpose yards, 800 plus, just something enough, and then just keep going from there.
Yeah. Because I always look at it like if you can set a goal for yourself and accomplish that goal, it's gonna help the team.
Yeah.
That's how I always kind of look at it.
Wes, let's talk to you for a minute. This is your 3rd year being a starter, right?
Yeah.
I've seen you a lot this summer, going to a lot of camps. And so how did you prepare for this season, and the camp stuff you went to? How you think it transpired to your game?
Yeah, I mean, one big thing which I've kind of said this whole season is this last spring I ran track, which I mean last year I kind of was only one-dimensional, I was a pocket passer, and that kind of held me back, especially in the recruiting.
Right.
Seeing, coaches like to see you be able to run, get a first down with your arm and your leg. So, I mean, track was big for me because I brought down my 40 time a lot, made me more athletic in general. So, I passed the eye test with my size, but really having that speed that they can see was really good for me. And also just getting bigger. You can't really be too big in football, taking hits like that as a quarterback. So, just really working out and getting faster was really big for me this spring.
Is it any games that's on your schedule? I know you got CAK this upcoming Friday, and that's an in-town game. Are y'all kind of pumped about that being in town, and then you kind of get a little bragging rights over CAK for a year? Talk to us a little bit about the CAK game.
Is it that rival? What are y'all rivalry?
I mean, like I said earlier, I've been playing CAK since 5th grade. I know all those guys.
What's your record against CAK?
as a starter, I'm 1-1.
1-1. That's awesome.
Freshman year, it was we played CAK for homecoming at Grace my first year as a starter as a freshman, and that was a pretty crazy environment for my first game. We lost that game. Last year we beat them pretty good, but this year it's gonna be bad for sure. So I'm really excited for that one. Another one that's kind of this year is Lakeway at home. Last year we were a heavy favorite, and we let it slip from us upset last year, which kind of eats at you all year, you know. So we really want to get that back this year. We play them at home for homecoming this year. Yeah.
That's awesome. Any teams you think?
Any
Talk to us a little bit about the CAK game as well.
I love the environment. Playing away last year's first game starting. I love the environment. Even though it's an away game, like there's a lot of energy, especially from our team. I think a lot of guys were encouraging each other too, because we really wanted it, and I feel like we should go into this game the same energy.
Yeah.
Same mindset. Are you 1-0 against CAK as a starter?
I am.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And being the leader of the quarterback, tell me something about some of the weapons you got besides Stephen and running back. Tell me something about some of the weapons you got.
I mean, yeah, last year our offense was really driven by Pierce Brown, and he was a stud. He was 3-time All-State.
Right.
So, I mean, that was kind of like I was getting the ball kind of looking for Pierce. But this year, I mean, I have a plethora of guys. We have multiple guys that have had 60, 70-yard games with multiple touchdowns. So, I mean, it just kind of takes a little bit of stress off me that I know anywhere I live, I got to play big.
Right.
Especially I got 2 running backs. We have Riffey and then a freshman Terrion who's really taken a big role this year. He's pretty tough. And then we have 3 receivers that are all juniors this year that have really stepped up. So I mean, I can go anywhere with the ball, which is a super relieving feeling for a quarterback, knowing you can go anywhere. So yeah.
Stephen, I want to talk to you a little bit about Weston, right? You talked a little bit about Terrion. I had the privilege to coach Terrion when he was young. He played on my team for several years. I always felt like he was one of them guys that was going to be a player when the time came. Talk to us a little bit about his growth, and talk to us a little bit about, is he falling into that role as a leader, or is he kind of trying to fall back and kind of take notes from you guys, the older guys? How is he fitting in with you guys this year?
Terrion, I mean, he fits in well. Like me being a running back, he'll ask me questions, certain plays, and I help him out with that. But he gets it down. Like he sees it one time, he's almost got it, and I mean, he's growing as a player.
Yes, sir.
I've seen it a lot. Like for a freshman to come in and do what he's doing, like it's special.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
And I see a lot.
Yeah.
Like in him.
Talking about Terrion, he's one of those players that you just watch him. Like I remember he played for our middle school team last year. Just watching him move, you knew he was going to be something special.
Yeah.
So just watching, he's already got all the gifts. It's just seeing him like progress this year, knowing the offense, watching film, so that he's really took that role of really the other side of football that a lot of people don't see is like the mental reps, not only the physical stuff, and he's really picked it up there, which has been really nice.
That's awesome. Speaking of Terrion and the freshman a little bit, I want to talk about any other freshmen you guys got that's you think gonna make an impact this year for you guys?
Jackson Coffee.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's our starting linebacker.
That's a
He
tough
flies
job
around,
for a freshman linebacker.
Yeah.
He flies around. Like you'll see him.
Yeah.
Like, you'll
What
know he's on
number?
the field.
22. I'll be watching him. Any other players you think that in that freshman class might do something special for you guys on varsity this year?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of speaking on Jackson for a second, he really surprised me. He's like third, but 5-star practice came out with the stat leaders. He's third in tackles so far.
As a freshman?
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Congratulations,
also,
Jackson. And what's up, Terrion? Yes, sir.
And then one of our starting linemen actually tore his ACL first scrimmage. So we've had a freshman step up and kind of like not really a starter, but kind of get into that backup role, like next man up. Micah Royster, he's been that backup man for lineman. He's really taken that because I mean lineman, that's one of the toughest jobs in the field. Doing that as a freshman is really impressive. And then we have another back. He transferred in from Norris. His name's Caden Weber. He's kind of athlete like Terrion. He's really good.
He had a growth spurt over it too. He got big.
So y'all expecting a lot of big things from this freshman class. That's awesome.
What about Perky with a sophomore?
Yeah, he's a sophomore.
He's a tough kid too. I like watching him play. Yeah.
That's awesome. I don't know if you guys know, but I had a chance to actually play with y'all guys' head coach. That's my boy. I've been knowing him for years. We won a championship together at Florida. So how's he helping you? Have he told you he was a quarterback in high school, right? How's he helping you at the quarterback position alone? Just because for a guy that smart and that athletic, and to give back to the youth like you guys, man, and then his specialty was quarterbacks. How is he helping you along the way, man?
Yeah, I mean, that's been one of my favorite things to talk about this offseason. Just kind of me and Coach Long's relationship has been great. You know, hit my freshman year was his first year coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So we've kind of grown together, and I've seen what I develop as a player. He's really developed as a coach, and just the other aspect is when your head coach is a quarterback, he really understands like what you're seeing, what you're doing, and just cutting up with him after practice, like doing the crossbar challenge with the football, stuff like that. It's been great. Just growing with him.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Steve, I want this for you. There's another coach I got on the staff that I was fortunate enough to play with as well, man. His name T.J. King. Talk to us a little bit about T.J. What's up, T.J.?
Coach King, I don't talk to him a lot.
Being a linebacker coach.
Yeah, he is a linebacker coach, and I'm kind of away from that, especially in Indy.
Yeah.
But off the field, like on the FBA side, because he's more towards the FBA side. He's a great guy off the field.
Yes, sir.
And on the field, he's disciplined. He keeps the linebackers like you'll hear him. You'll hear him on it, like he's on them, telling them what to do, and he will celebrate with them.
Yeah.
And I think coaches like that like really make the game good.
Yes, sir.
They bring energy.
Yes,
He's
sir.
one of those guys that really flip the switch. Like outside the field, he'll cut up with you, but when it's game time, he's gonna get.
It's time to get serious. Yes, sir. I like that. Shout out to my dude TJ, man.
Hey, we got maybe few more questions to get y'all out of there. It's Friday, school over with. What gets you motivated? What gets you going before the game? What's your preparation?
Yeah, I mean, this year really, I've taken like film studies at a whole new level. This year I watch it towards the week, but what I like to do before the game is just kind of take some last minute film, just watching film while I'm reading the team meal up there, just really taking in some last minute mental reps and really just locking in, putting in my AirPods, just kind of listening to music while watching film just to feel prepared. Yeah.
What's your story?
Me, like pregame, I got my headphones on and I just kind of sit there and I'm not really eyes closed, but like I'm just focused.
Right.
I just kind of stop paying attention to like the stuff around me. I focus on like what I need to do, like my assignments.
Right. What you pumping in the headphones?
A little bit of everything, honestly. It just depends.
Big Bull Baby.
Most people say young boy, so everybody we interview
Yeah, a lot
always
of
be
people
like
say
young boy,
young boy. Sure
and
do,
everybody.
sure do.
We always do the pick 'em of the week, 10 games, and y'all one of the games this week. So tell me a little bit that made me feel comfortable picking y'all in my this week.
All right, I got you.
Tell me something that made me feel good.
Yeah, we got a great offense. We have a lot of playmakers. We have a lot of guys that's really stepped up. That's shown in the past 3 weeks. We beat them last year.
Right.
We have a really good coaching staff coming in. They have a first-year coach this year. I think we got a lot of guys that are really hungry to win.
Okay.
A lot of guys last year that weren't starting when we beat them last year, so they're so craving that feeling of beating CAK, especially in a away game like it is.
Right.
I think we got a lot of guys this year really hungry, really craving that win. I think we're really going to show it all on the field.
That's make a big game you then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
He said it all.
He touched over that. All right, I'm going to hit y'all a couple more questions before I let y'all go. We're going to talk a little bit about drip. What's the cleats that everybody is wearing, or I got to have them pair? Because when I played, it was the Mike Vicks cleats. Everybody had to have the Mike Vicks. And what's the hottest cleat right now?
All right, so especially this summer, going to like camps and stuff, everyone had those Nike Dunks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, the white and black, but it's Matic Grace is black's not one of our colors.
Yeah.
So I've been refreshing like Nike every day, looking to see if they'll come out with the white and navy.
Yeah.
And I'm a pre-order those.
What about you, Stephen?
I see a lot of like the Jordan cleats, Jordan like the lows.
Yeah.
I got me a pair.
You do?
I got me a special pair. Yeah.
I got Jordan jerseys or Nike?
Nike.
You breaking them Jordans out Friday on said game?
I don't know if I should because I'm mostly
So
navy and
rival game,
gray.
man.
I might. Now. I'm thinking about it.
And you know the good thing about football evolves as time go on. I know y'all know that. Back when I played, you better sell some new cleats. You possible to have them tore up after the game because we still played on grass.
Yeah.
You guys, you really don't got them. Yeah, y'all got it made.
Yeah.
So even when it rains, sometimes you got the all icy whites on. You might not even mess them up because you're on the turf.
Yeah.
You know, so
I mean uniform selection. You got quite a few.
Yeah, we got white, we got navy, and we got gray, and we have all the pants with that.
Do y'all get to pick them or the coach pick them? How that work?
He usually, home, you can only wear navy, but he really lets us pick the combinations. Last week we got to pick, and we picked navy on gray, which we really like.
let me ask you this question, Weston. Is Coach superstitious when it comes to wearing those jerseys? Because in high school, the reason I asked you that is because in high school I coached Buck Coatney.
Yeah.
Shout out to Buck Coatney. If we lost in a uniform, he didn't wear it the rest of the season. And we kind of had the kind of same setup you guys had. We had maroon, white, black. So we had 3 jerseys, 3 pants, and you can kind of mix them up the way you want. So I can't remember what game it was, but we wore black pants, white jersey. We never wore that same combo again the rest of the year because Coach was superstitious about we got beat in that. We ain't wearing it no more. Is Jay Long like that?
Yeah, he's the funny thing with him is you can kind of tell like without even him saying anything, like he's kind of like, because last year we wore all white against CAK, and sure enough this week we're wearing all white. So it's just one of those things that he'll never say it, but you can kind of see it.
Yes, sir.
Like last year when we wore all gray, we haven't worn gray yet.
Since.
We lost.
We didn't wear it the rest of the season.
Y'all got beat in it, ain't worn
We
since.
barely lost to South Louisville, so he did want to bring those back out.
Yes, sir. It's good to see them still carrying on the same traditions that we was taught. That's awesome. That's awesome. Now that's all I got for you guys, man. That's all I got. Good luck. Good luck on the season, and good luck on CNK tomorrow.
150 rushing.
Yeah,
I'm rocking with y'all.
We'll definitely be watching you guys. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. In the lab, we out. Sir.
Y'all know what time it is.